You feel it before you even open your eyes. That heaviness, that tiredness that sleep never fixes. You look in the mirror and something's different. Not just older, worn down. Like life has been quietly taking something from you and you didn't even notice until now. Maybe it's the way you get out of bed slower than you used to. Maybe it's the brain fog by 10 a.m. Maybe it's the way your skin looks tired even when you're not. Maybe it's the extra weight that crept on while you weren't watching. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're exhausted in a way that no nap can fix. And here's the truth. Nobody tells you. You are aging yourself every single morning with habits so small, so invisible that you don't even register them as choices anymore. They feel automatic. They feel normal. They are neither. Today, that ends. Because in the next 30 minutes, you're going to discover the 5 morning habits quietly stealing your energy, your youth, and your years, and exactly how to take them back. This isn't another lecture. This is a wake-up call. If you're tired of feeling tired, if you're done watching yourself fade a little more every year, if some part of you still believes you can feel alive again, then you are exactly who this is for. Before we go further, like this video, subscribe to this channel. Comment below the one habit you already know is aging you, and send this to someone who needs to hear it today, because the people who change their lives are the ones who stop scrolling past the truth. Let's begin. Your body is crying for help. Your body has been talking to you for years. You just stopped listening. That fatigue at 2 p.m. That's not normal. That brain fog that makes you reread the same sentence 3 times. That's not normal either. The bloating, the joint stiffness, the skin that doesn't bounce back the way it used to. None of this is just aging. This is your body begging you to notice. Here's what nobody tells you about comfort. It's the most dangerous drug you'll ever take. It doesn't knock you out in one night. It erodes you slowly, morning after morning, until 10 years have disappeared and you don't know where they went. Think about your first hour awake. Be honest with yourself. Do you reach for your phone before your feet even touch the floor? Do you skip water for coffee? Do you sit the second you wake up and stay sitting until you collapse back into bed at night? That's not living. That's slow decay wrapped in routine. Emotional eating is part of this story too. The stress snack at 9 a.m. The sugar that numbs a feeling you didn't want to feel. Food has become an anesthetic instead of fuel. And your body is paying the bill in inflammation, in fatigue, in years. I want you to picture something. Picture yourself 5 years from now, still doing exactly what you're doing this morning. Same scroll, same skipped breakfast, same slouch at the desk, same I'll start Monday. Does that person look like someone thriving or someone who gave up without ever admitting it out loud? Self-neglect rarely looks dramatic. It looks like snoozing the alarm. It looks like I don't have time. It looks like choosing numbness over discomfort every single morning until numbness becomes your whole personality. But here is the part that should give you chills, in a good way. Your body is resilient. It has been waiting for you, not against you. The same body that's tired today can wake up clear-headed tomorrow. The same skin that looks dull can glow again. The same mind drowning in fog can sharpen within days, not years. Days. This isn't about hating your body for what it's become. It's about finally listening to what it's been trying to tell you. Every ache, every crash, every off feeling. That's information, not failure. So today the assignment is simple. Notice. Notice the first habit your hand reaches for every morning. Notice what your body feels like in that first hour. You can't fix what you refuse to see. Your body has been crying for help in a language you forgot how to read. Today, you start translating it again. Discipline will save your life. Motivation lied to you. It promised you'd feel ready. It never showed up consistently because motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline doesn't negotiate with your mood. Discipline just shows up, and showing up over and over is the entire secret everyone is searching for in expensive supplements and quick fixes. Let's talk about your morning, because that's where this war is won or lost. The first 60 minutes of your day set the chemical and emotional tone for everything that follows. Wake up scrambling, stressed, reactive, and your whole day inherits that chaos. Wake up with one small, structured ritual, and your whole day inherits that calm control instead. You don't need a 2-hour morning routine. You need one non-negotiable. One thing you do regardless of mood, weather, or excuse. Drink water before caffeine. Move your body for 10 minutes. Get sunlight on your face within the first 30 minutes of waking. Pick one. Make it sacred. Here's the mental shift that changes everything. Stop trying to feel like exercising. Stop trying to feel like eating clean. You will rarely feel like it. Discipline means doing it anyway until the action itself becomes identity. You're not someone trying to get healthy. You're becoming someone who simply does the healthy thing, the way you brush your teeth, without internal debate. Mental toughness isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in small, boring, repeated decisions nobody is watching. It's getting up when the bed is warm and the room is cold. It's choosing the walk over the scroll. It's the version of you that keeps a promise to yourself even when no one would know if you broke it. That's the real test of self-respect. What you do when nobody's watching and nothing's forcing you. Every small win matters more than you think. Making the bed, drinking the water, taking the stairs. These aren't trivial, they're proof. Proof to your own nervous system that you are someone who follows through, and that proof compounds. One kept promise makes the next one easier. Discipline isn't punishment, it's self-respect in action. You don't need to overhaul your entire life today. You need to win this morning, then win tomorrow morning, then the one after that. That's it. That's the whole formula disguised as something complicated. Discipline will not feel exciting. It will feel quiet, steady, almost boring, right up until the day you look in the mirror and don't recognize the strength staring back at you. That day is closer than you think, but only if you start the small thing today. Your mindset is making you sick. Here's something that should stop you cold. Your thoughts are not just in your head, they are in your bloodstream, in your cortisol, in your inflammation levels, in the way your cells age. Chronic stress doesn't just feel bad, it physically accelerates the aging process. Anxiety doesn't just live in your mind, it tightens your chest, disrupts your sleep, drains the energy your body needs to repair itself overnight. Overthinking isn't a personality quirk, it's a nervous system stuck in a war that doesn't exist. How many mornings have you woken up already exhausted, not from physical effort, but from a mind that never stopped running? Replaying yesterday. Rehearsing today's worst-case scenario. That mental noise is costing you more energy than any workout ever could. Let's talk about victim mentality, because this one is uncomfortable. Not victim as in, your pain isn't real. Your pain is real. But somewhere along the way, many of us start using our circumstances as the explanation for staying stuck. I'm too busy. I've always been like this. It's just genetics. Some of that is true, but truth and excuse can look identical from the inside, and only you know which one you're really holding. The mind that says nothing ever works for me will unconsciously sabotage the things that could work. The mind that says I always fail by day 3 will quietly stop trying on day 3, not by accident, but by belief becoming prophecy. Here's the shift. You don't have to fix your entire mindset today. You have to interrupt one thought pattern. When the negative loop starts, the self-criticism, the catastrophizing, say out loud if you can, this is the story, not the fact. That tiny gap between thought and belief is where your power lives. Mental exhaustion and physical exhaustion are the same exhaustion wearing different clothes. You cannot out-supplement a mind in chronic distress. You cannot out-exercise constant anxiety. At some point, healing has to include the space between your ears. This doesn't mean toxic positivity. It doesn't mean pretending you're fine. It means noticing the thoughts that are quietly poisoning your mornings and refusing to let them run unchallenged anymore. Your mind has been carrying weight your body never agreed to carry. Today, put some of it down, not all of it, not forever, just enough to breathe again. Because the version of you that heals their mind will heal their body almost automatically. That's not a metaphor. That's biology. Food is either healing you or destroying you. There is no neutral plate. Every single thing you eat this morning is either repairing your cells or quietly breaking them down. There is no pause button on biology. Let's be honest about sugar. That morning pastry, that sweetened coffee, that just this once. It's rarely just once. Sugar creates a spike and a crash, and that crash doesn't just cost you energy at 11 a.m. It ages your skin through a process called glycation. It's quietly stealing the glow you're chasing in expensive creams while you hand it away with breakfast. Processed food was engineered, not grown, engineered, to override your natural fullness signals. That's not a willpower failure on your part. That's a system designed to be hard to resist. But once you see the design, you can stop blaming yourself for falling for it and start making different choices with open eyes instead of trapped ones. Emotional eating deserves real compassion here, not shame. When food becomes the only available comfort, of course you reach for it. But comfort that comes from a wrapper fades in minutes and leaves a body that has to process the aftermath for hours. The stress didn't disappear. It just changed forms. I want you to picture your body as it actually is. Trillions of cells rebuilding themselves every single day, using nothing but what you feed them. Protein becomes the muscle that keeps you strong as you age. Healthy fats become the foundation of the hormones that regulate your mood and your energy. Vegetables and fiber become the gut health that determines half of what people simply call feeling good. You are not eating food. You are eating your next version. The you of 6 months from now is being built, cell, by the choices you make at breakfast today. This isn't about perfection. It's not about never having the treat, the coffee, the comfort meal. It's about awareness replacing autopilot. Before you eat, ask one question. Is this healing me or harming me right now? You don't have to obey the answer every time, but you do have to stop pretending you didn't hear it. Energy crashes, brain fog, premature aging, so much of it traces back to a fork, a spoon, a quiet decision made without thought. Mindful eating isn't a diet trend. It's simply eating like someone who respects their own future. Today, eat one meal, just one, like you actually love the person you're going to become. The hardest part is starting. Nobody talks about this enough. Starting is the single hardest part of any transformation. Harder than the workout, harder than the diet, harder than the discipline itself. Why? Because starting means admitting something has to change. And admitting that can feel like admitting failure. So instead, we wait. We wait for Monday. We wait for the new year. We wait for the right moment that, conveniently, never quite arrives. Fear of change is rarely about the change itself. It's about the unknown version of you on the other side of it. What if you try and it doesn't work? What if people notice you trying and watch you quit? That fear of being seen failing keeps more people stuck than failure itself ever could. Let's talk about gym anxiety, because it's real, and it's rarely spoken about honestly. Walking into a room full of people who seem to already know what they're doing, while you don't even know how to adjust the machine, that's intimidating. But here's the truth. Everyone in that room was once the person who didn't know how to adjust the machine. Every single one. Shame keeps people frozen longer than any obstacle. The shame of, I let myself get here. The shame of starting over for what feels like the 100th time. But shame has never once produced lasting change. Shame produces hiding. Change requires the opposite. Showing up exactly as you are, unfinished and a little afraid. Here's the mindset shift. You don't need to start the program. You need to start a Tuesday, one walk, one meal made with intention, one morning without the phone in the first 10 minutes. Starting small isn't a weaker version of starting, it's the only version that actually sticks. Procrastination tells you that you're waiting for motivation. The truth is, you're waiting for certainty. Certainty that you'll succeed before you even begin. That certainty doesn't exist for anyone. Not for the person who looks like they have it all together. They just started before they felt ready to. Failure isn't the opposite of transformation. Failure is part of its instruction manual. Every person who has rebuilt their health failed at some version of this before they succeeded. The only real failure is the version of you that never tried because trying felt too exposing. So here's your moment. Not Monday, not the new year. Today. One small, embarrassingly simple action right after this video ends. The hardest part is starting. You're about to do the hardest part. Everything after this gets easier. Your future self is begging you to change. Close your eyes for a second, metaphorically, keep watching, and picture yourself 10 years from today. If nothing changes from this exact morning, who is that person? Are they stronger, or have they quietly lost more of themselves to the same small habits repeated 4,000 more times? Are they playing with their kids or grandkids on the floor without their knees protesting? Or are they sitting on the sidelines, telling themselves that's just what happens with age, when really it's what happens with neglect? This is the conversation nobody wants to have because it's uncomfortable. But discomfort now is so much smaller than regret later. Think about the years that have already passed using the same morning patterns you have today. Were they kind to you? Did they build the energy, the body, the clarity you wanted? Or did they just pass while you told yourself you'd get to it eventually? Here's what eventually actually costs. It costs the trip you didn't take because your body couldn't keep up. It costs the moment with your family you were too exhausted to fully be present for. It costs years, not metaphorical years, biological years, quietly shaved off through inflammation, poor sleep, and chronic stress that never got addressed. Your future self isn't a stranger. They are being built right now, this morning, by the choice you're about to make the second this video ends. Every healthy decision today is a letter of gratitude to the person you'll be in a decade. Every habit you keep avoiding is a debt they will have to pay with interest. This isn't meant to scare you into paralysis. It's meant to wake you into action, because here's the hopeful part. The future is not fixed. It is the most changeable thing about your entire life. The body that feels tired today can feel alive in months. The brain fog can lift. The energy can return. None of this requires being young again. It requires being consistent, starting now. Longevity isn't about adding empty years at the end of a tired life. It's about adding life to the years you already have. More energy, more presence, more strength to actually live in the body you're given instead of merely surviving inside it. So ask yourself honestly, if your future self could speak to you right now, what would they say about this morning? What would they beg you to finally take seriously? They're not asking for perfection. They're asking you to start being someone worth thanking. Pain can transform you. Some of you are not just tired from bad habits. Some of you are tired from life itself. Heartbreak, loss, rejection. The kind of pain that doesn't show up on a doctor's chart but reshapes you anyway. I'm not going to tell you pain is a gift. That's a lie people tell to make suffering sound poetic. Pain is pain. It hurts because it's supposed to. But here's what is true. Pain can either bury you or it can become fuel. The difference isn't the pain itself, it's what you decide to build with it. Think about every person who transformed their body, their health, their entire life, and trace the story back far enough. Almost always, there's a breaking point. A diagnosis that scared them straight. A breakup that forced them to rebuild from nothing. A moment of hitting a flaw they didn't know existed. The pain came first. The transformation came because of it, not in spite of it. Depression doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like sleeping 10 hours and still being exhausted. Sometimes it looks like not having the energy to care about your own health, because caring requires energy you don't have. If that's you right now, this isn't judgment. This is recognition. Movement, sunlight, and small physical wins are some of the most evidence-backed tools for shifting that internal chemistry, alongside real support, not instead of it. Here's the redirection that changes lives. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I build with this?" Heartbreak can become the discipline you never had time for when you were busy building a life around someone else. Rejection can become fuel for the version of you that no longer needs external validation to feel worthy. Trauma, when finally faced rather than buried, can become the exact reason you finally take your body and mind seriously. Fitness, movement, nutrition, these aren't just about appearance. They are some of the most powerful tools available for processing pain that words alone can't fully reach. The body keeps score, and the body can also help you rewrite the story. This doesn't mean working out fixes everything. Some pain needs more than movement. It needs real connection, real support, sometimes real professional help. But movement can be part of the healing, not a replacement for the rest of it. If you're hurting right now, I'm not asking you to be grateful for the pain. I'm asking you to refuse to let it be wasted. Let it become the reason you finally choose yourself. Let it become fuel instead of weight. Your pain is real. So is your capacity to transform it. Consistency beats perfection. Perfection is a trap disguised as a goal. It promises an all-or-nothing world where one missed workout means total failure, one indulgent meal means starting over from zero. That belief has destroyed more transformations than laziness ever has. Here's the truth that actually builds lasting change. Consistency at 70%, sustained for a year, will transform you more than perfection at 100% that lasts 3 weeks before burning out. Small habits, repeated without drama, are the entire secret. 10 minutes of movement every day beats 90 minutes of movement you can only manage twice before quitting. A slightly better breakfast every morning beats a perfect diet you abandon by Thursday. Think of habits like compound interest. One good morning won't transform you, but 300 good mornings will rebuild you from the inside out. Your energy, your skin, your mind, your strength. The math only works if you stop quitting every time it gets boring or imperfect. This is where most people break the cycle without realizing it. They miss one day, then use that single miss as proof the whole plan failed, then quit entirely. One missed day is data, not a verdict. The only real failure is the spiral that turns one missed morning into 90 missed mornings. Realistic goals matter more than impressive ones. A goal you can actually sustain on your busiest, most exhausted day will always beat a goal that only works when life is easy, because life is rarely easy for long. Sustainable lifestyle change doesn't look dramatic from the outside. It looks like the same small choices, repeated so many times they stop requiring willpower at all. That's the finish line nobody tells you about. The day healthy stops being a project and simply becomes who you are. So release the all-or-nothing thinking today. You don't need the perfect morning routine. You need a morning routine, imperfectly repeated, for long enough that your body and mind start to trust it. Progress isn't a straight line. It's a messy, inconsistent climb that trends upward over time if you simply refuse to stop showing up. Consistency doesn't ask for your best. It asks for your again. Show up again tomorrow. That's the whole secret, finally said out loud. No one is coming to save you. This is the keynote that will make some people uncomfortable. Good. Discomfort is where change actually starts. No doctor, no supplement, no app, no motivational video, including this one, is going to save you. They can guide you. They can equip you. They cannot do the work that only you can do. You have probably been waiting, even if you haven't said it out loud. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for less stress. Waiting for someone else to finally make it easier. That waiting has a name, and the name is avoidance dressed up as patience. Personal responsibility isn't about blaming yourself for everything that's happened. Some of it was genuinely not your fault. Circumstances, genetics, the chaos life throws at all of us. But what happens next? That part is entirely yours. Nobody else can drink the water for you tomorrow morning. Nobody else can choose the walk over the scroll on your behalf. Accountability means looking at your current results and asking, honestly, what have my actual daily choices created? Not your intentions, not what you meant to do, what you actually did, repeated enough times to become this current version of you. That's not an insult, that's information you can finally use. Self-respect is built in the exact moments when you keep a promise to yourself that nobody else would even know about if you broke it. Getting up for the walk when you could have stayed in bed and no one would judge you for it. That's where self-respect is actually manufactured, not in big public moments, but in private, unwitnessed integrity. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Perfect timing is a myth invented by people too afraid to start imperfectly. There will never be a week with zero stress, zero busyness, zero excuse available if you go looking for one. The conditions will never be perfect. They don't need to be. They just need to be good enough to begin. Ownership feels heavy at first because it means you can't blame the schedule, the metabolism, the past anymore, not for what happens going forward. But ownership is also the most liberating thing you'll ever feel, because it means the power was always yours. You were never actually trapped. You were waiting for permission that was never going to come from outside you. So I'll say the uncomfortable thing directly. No one is coming to save you. Not because no one cares, but because this particular rescue was never anyone else's job. It's yours. It always was. Become the person you were meant to be. Every single thing we've talked about, the discipline, the mindset, the food, the pain, the consistency, the ownership, all of it has been pointing toward one single truth. You are not just trying to lose weight. You are not just trying to fix 5 morning habits. You are becoming someone, a specific, identifiable person who exists on the other side of these choices, repeated enough times to become permanent. Identity transformation doesn't happen in one dramatic moment, no matter what movies tell you. It happens in the 6th week, when you realize you didn't even think about skipping the walk. You just went. It happens in the moment you reach for water instead of the sugar crash, automatically, without the internal debate that used to exhaust you before you even started your day. Confidence isn't something you wait to feel before you act. Confidence is the result of acting, of keeping enough small promises to yourself that you finally, quietly, start to trust your own word again. That trust is worth more than any external validation you've been chasing. Strength isn't only physical, though your body will absolutely change if you stay consistent. Strength is the version of you that doesn't collapse the first time motivation disappears, because you've replaced motivation with something sturdier, identity. I don't skip mornings is not a rule you follow. It's who you've become. Purpose enters the picture once health stops being about punishment or appearance and starts being about capacity. The capacity to show up fully for the people you love, the work that matters to you, the life you actually want to be present for instead of merely existing inside of. This transformation was never about becoming a different person. It was about becoming who you were always meant to be, before exhaustion, before comfort, before the habits that quietly aged you faster than time itself ever could. That person is not far away. That person doesn't require 10 years. That person requires tomorrow morning, and the one after, and the one after that, built the same way every transformation in human history has ever been built. One decision, repeated until it becomes unbreakable. You were not made to spend your life tired, foggy, and fading quietly into a version of yourself you don't recognize. You were made for more energy than this, more clarity than this, more life than this. Become unstoppable not through one perfect day, but through the accumulated weight of every imperfect morning you refused to skip. That person you were meant to be. They're not waiting in the future. They're waiting in tomorrow's alarm clock, in the next choice, in the version of you that finally decides enough is enough. Here's what I need you to understand before this ends. Everything we just talked about, the tiredness, the fog, the slow aging, the comfort that became a cage, none of it is permanent. None of it is your final form. It is simply the result of mornings you didn't yet know how to reclaim, but you know now. You know that your body has been crying for help. You know discipline beats motivation every single time motivation fails to show up. You know your mind and your cells are more connected than you ever realized. You know food is either healing you or quietly breaking you down. You know starting is the hardest part, and you're capable of doing hard things anyway. You know your future self is watching this morning, hoping you finally choose them. You know pain doesn't have to bury you, it can fuel you instead. You know consistency, not perfection, is what actually rebuilds a life. You know no one else was ever coming to save you, because this was always going to be your rescue, written in your own handwriting. And you know, deep down, exactly who you were meant to become. So here is the only question that matters now. What are you going to do in the next 60 minutes? Not next Monday, not next year, not when things calm down. 60 minutes from right now. Drink the water, take the walk, eat the one meal with intention, go to bed 20 minutes earlier tonight. Pick one, just one. And do it like your future depends on it, because it does. Motivation brought you to this video. Motivation will not be enough to finish what you're about to start. Discipline will. Discipline doesn't need you to feel ready, it just needs you to begin. You have spent enough mornings aging faster than you had to, enough mornings running on autopilot while your real life waited on the other side of 5 small habits you finally understand now. That chapter can close today. Not because change is easy, but because you have decided you're done choosing comfort over your own future. This is the moment. Not someday. Now. If this reached something in you, if even one keynote felt like it was speaking directly to your life, then do these 4 things before you go. Like this video, so it reaches someone else who's exhausted in silence, exactly like you were 10 minutes ago. Subscribe so you're here for the next part of this transformation, because this is a journey, not a single video. Share this with the one person you know who's stuck, tired, and waiting for a sign, because this might be it for them. And comment 3 words, right now, before you close this tab. I start today. Not because comments make a difference to a video, because typing it makes a difference to you. It turns a thought into a declaration. And declarations are harder to walk away from than thoughts ever are. You still have time. Your body can still heal. Your mind can still clear. Your energy can still return. None of it is gone. It's just been buried under habits you finally know how to change. Tomorrow morning, the alarm will go off. And for the first time in a long time, you're going to get up like you mean it. Go become that person. The world is still waiting for the version of you that you almost forgot existed. Start now.